Welcome to Ignite Success. I am Wendy Barlin, your host. We talk all things business. Today, we have Steve Kidd with Thriving Bestsellers with us, and we're all going to learn what works, what doesn't work in business. So welcome, Steve. Thank you for being with us today.
Hi, Wendy. Thanks for having me.
So tell us, what does Thrive Bestsellers, what does Thriving Bestsellers do?
Well, ultimately, we're a marketing company with a strong publishing division. We actually have been a marketing company since 1988, in internet marketing since even before we actually had the word internet. And we have worked with authors on everything from conception to writing, publishing, and marketing their books to bestseller and beyond since 2007 is when we did our first book.
Wow, and certainly that industry has changed over time.
A
Is
lot.
there a genre that you particularly like to work with? Is it nonfiction? Is it fiction? What do you prefer?
The predominant books I work with are business people, but literally over the years, I'd be hard pressed to think of a genre I haven't worked with. Everyone from children's books to actually have an author that writes adult erotic fiction. So mostly business people, but I've done pretty much all of it.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you've seen a lot of ups and downs just in the business marketplace, in publishing and in internet business. So, Steve, what would you share with our viewers today as one thing that's really kept you going through these ups and downs of business over the last few years? Is there one thing that you would attribute to your success?
It's really about knowing who you are and creating a business that is based off of supporting and promoting your best life. A lot of times we look at trends and things that are cool and popular at the time, and we chase after that. But after a while, if that's not really the heart and soul of who you are, it's really hard to sustain that, especially, in those downtimes when the money starts waning and the customers start complaining. If it's not the heart and soul and core of who you are, it's going to be hard to keep up with it.
I almost liken that to having a job that feels like a job. I remember when I took a job because it gave me a big fat salary, and after 2 weeks, I was so miserable. So that sounds much the same. And no matter what you're doing, it's about the joy, which will then bring the success, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then the challenges. Go
It's
ahead. I
hard.
apologize. Sorry, Steve.
I was just going to say, it's hard to be in business for yourself. And if you don't have something that's making you happy, it can be really tough real quick.
That's exactly right. And my question was going to be about the challenges, because I'd love to tell all our viewers that it is roses in the marketing and publishing business, but there are some challenges. And if there was one challenge that you have had to face and overcome, what would that be? We want to learn from each other's challenges.
Oh gosh, and I only get to pick one. You know, the biggest thing for me is, and I actually heard the lady who created Spanx was talking about this, and it helped me so much because the longer you're in business, the more you're going to find people who are doing things similar to you. It's pretty hard to find a business that nobody in the world is doing anything like you. And you can get lost in the litigation against people who have taken your IP and used it, or even just feeling, a sense of loss, if you will, over people who are doing better at something than what you are, or doing something that you wish you would have thought of. And you really have to stay in your own lane. Again, it comes back to that passion, because if you are fulfilling the heart and soul and core of who you are, then you can really encourage, inspire, and even cheer for others who are in that. If not, it becomes very, very difficult to see others not only just do what you're doing, but have real
Great
extreme
success.
success
I
at
think
that.
that's where social media has made it challenging for all of us, because the shiny object syndrome, right? Where we go online and we see these people doing things. Wait, wait, what about me? So that I absolutely agree. Stay in your lane. That's something that I work a lot with business owners. Pick what you want to do and just go for it. And don't worry about what everybody else is doing. But it's challenging. That FOMO shiny object, I deal with that too. So thank you for sharing that, Steve. I think that that's really valuable information. And all our viewers today, I think everybody can feel that no matter what industry you're in. Where do you see the publishing and media business going in the next year?
So over the course of the next year, we have a really big challenge that's also a huge opportunity. So, during the pandemic, when everybody was locked in at home, everybody was writing books. I think Amazon, I saw a statistic that it went from about 1 million books in 2019 that were published on Amazon in all the different formats. And in 2020, it's going to be somewhere around 2 million books that went out that were
Wow.
new books that year.
I hope it means
And
that
the
our
different,
society is reading more. I truly do. Hope
I
it means
think,
our society is reading
yeah,
more.
yeah. I think we're listening more. Audiobooks are becoming really huge. But yeah, most definitely. The challenge now is that the economy is much different than it was a couple of years ago, worldwide, really. And people now have to begin to really understand what their book's for and have in mind where the money really is going to come from. Because I think Seth Godin said it best. He said in a meeting I was in, he said, if you're writing your book to make money, then don't. But if you want to make money, you absolutely have to have a book. And that's a really good way of looking at it. So you really need to understand where's the money going to come from, because if not, the investment of time, effort, energy, and often money in getting that book done is going to feel like a real bottomless pit for you if you don't know where you're really going to monetize.
I love that. Thank you so much, Steve, for being with us today. That's where we're going to end, on that high note of monetizing. I am Wendy Barlin, your host of Ignite Success. Please go out into the world, make lots of money, and share your success with others, because success leaves trail.